What have I told you? In World War One, Hitler almost lost his life. Let me explain. In 1918, September, near the end of the war, Hitler wandered out of his trench to see a British soldier aiming a rifle at his chest. But the British soldier couldn't shoot seeing the injured man and let him go. But for that, we need to go back to the Great War. In World War One, the British were winning in 1918. The Germans were all but pushed back and the end was in sight. But another event was about to take place in 1918 that would put the world on its heels, as 20 years later, Hitler would emerge victorious in taking over Germany. The soldiers were ready to get away from the banger artillery shells and poison gas covering the trenches. And they were also ready to get away from the death, the bullets, the screams, animals and horses falling to their hooves, tanks rolling overhead, that sort of thing. But to end the stalemate, the British started fighting harder and harder to push into Germany. Something that would never happen, but something that Allied commanders hoped would happen. One such soldier was a soldier by the name of Henry Tandy. Henry Tandy was a British corporal. He wasn't a high-ranking soldier, but he got a Victoria Cross and several medals of valour. So how does this tie in to the tyrant also known as Adolf Hitler? Well, on 1918, Hitler had been fighting all day. Battle-drained and scarred, Hitler left his trench to go and get more ammunition. Out of nowhere, Lance Corporal Henry Tandy had a rifle pointing towards Hitler's chest. Hitler later on stated, "I was so scared I thought I'd never see Germany again." But Susie Tandy, seeing the injured German soldier, decided to let him go. You would never know what he had done until 20 years later, in 1939, where Hitler invaded Poland. It wasn't until 1940 until Susie Tandy attended an interview with the BBC. He was shocked to learn the news, but just stated the words, "I'm sorry to God I let him go." As a result, Susie Tandy was mocked by the British public. It wasn't until Winston Churchill gave him a pardon, stating that he would not have known what had happened 20 years earlier, and the people shouldn't be shaming him over something that happened 20 years before. Also stating that we are all human.